Hey, it's Mike. I'm back doing another video here. It's been a little while, as it sometimes is, and I've haven't been really picking up a whole lot of vinyl lately. It's been really hard to find good used vinyl in the area, at least stuff that I'm interested in purchasing. I've ordered a few things, and I found one used record at my local store here recently, so I'll show those. And I just wanted to do a concert update and give my thoughts on the passing of Steve Albini. So let's start with that. Steve Albini, as y'all know, passed away a few days ago, 61 years old. He was a singer-guitarist for the band Big Black, which is what I mostly know him for. He was in a band after that, Rape Man, with a couple of guys from Scratch Acid, and then after that he was in a band called Shellac. I remember having the Rape Man CD at some point, but I don't have it anymore, and Shellac I never got into, but I was a huge Big Black fan, and starting way back in the mid-'80s when Atomizer came out. And so yeah, it was just kind of a big blow. He was really young, died of a heart attack, and just a really big kind of influence on my musical tastes back then. Big Black was kind of an industrial post-punk outfit, really heavy guitars, really heavy bass and drums, electronic drums, kind of an industrial type feeling to the sound, and just really amazing work. And this was his second EP with Big Black called Bulldozer. There was one before this called Lungs. I didn't really care much for that. That was just kind of his own little, he did that on his own, I believe, in the studio, and it was just rudimentary, Big Black. But this second EP, Bulldozer, is where I really feel like he came into his sound, and you know, he added his band members and stuff and just kind of filled out the complete sound of Big Black. And this is a fantastic EP, Bulldozer. The first two EPs were compiled onto a compilation called The Hammer Party. I remember having that as well. I think I had it on cassette, and I don't have it anymore. I'd like to pick it up on vinyl. It's available on vinyl, but I haven't been able to find a decent copy of that yet. But Big Black, Bulldozer, this is 1983. And then the first full-length album was Atomizer, 1986. Just amazing. I think it's the best thing he ever did. And just amazing songs on this. Jordan, Minnesota, Kerosene, Bazooka Joe, Fists of Love. There's just a lot of greatness on this. Check it out. This is, if you want like a starting point for Big Black, I highly recommend Atomizer, 1986. And then their second and last full-length album, Songs About Fucking. This is a really fantastic album as well. I don't think it's as good as, or as consistent as Atomizer, but it's got fantastic songs on it. El Dopa, The Power of Independent Trucking, Precious Thing, Columbia Necktie. Really awesome stuff. So yeah, Steve Albini's work, at least as far as what I have on vinyl. I also have this 7-inch that was released. That Songs About Fucking was 1988, by the way. I also have this 7-inch for the single Il Duce. It was a non-album single. What was on the other side? I can't remember, but I can't read that. But Il Duce, sung about Benito Mussolini. This single was released back in 1985. So yeah, Big Black. Oh, Big Money, it says right there in big letters. I was thinking it said Big Black, but it's Big Money. That's the other song. That's the B-side. So Steve Albini, you will be missed. And then some records that he produced that I have in my collection. Everybody knows Pixies, Surfer Rosa, their first full-length album. This was produced by Steve Albini, as well as the ones, all the other ones I'm going to show, so I don't repeat myself. Pixies, Surfer Rosa. The Breeders, The Pod, their first album. Fantastic. This is Boss Hog. This is a kind of a spin-off of Pussy Galore, the band Pussy Galore. This is Christina from Pussy Galore. John Spencer also performs on this, but it's mainly her band. At least she's the lead singer, and although John Spencer does sing on this, but it's really Christina's band. Boss Hogg, Drinkin' Lechen and Lion, produced by Steve Albini. So was their other album, Cold Hands, their first full-length album. That was just an EP. I don't have Cold Hands. I had it on CD at some point, but I would really like to pick that up on vinyl. All of these Jesus Lizard records I'm going to show were produced by Steve Albini. This is their first full-length album, Head. Their first EP that they put out before this, called Pure, also produced by Steve Albini. I do not have a copy of that right now. Their second album, Goat, my favorite Jesus Lizard album. Their third album, Liar, great one as well. And then the last one produced by Steve Albini, Down, so Jesus Lizard. And then a couple ones, surprisingly, Low, slowcore band out of Duluth, Minnesota. This was produced by Steve Albini. It's absolutely beautiful music. And then the album that came out after that, Things We Lost in the Fire by Low. So that's it. Those are the Steve Albini records that I have. So hats off to you, Steve. Thanks for all the great music that you put out. Really, really great, influential stuff. So my concerts, I've been to a few already, actually like 3 in the past week or so. But so far 6 on the year. The first one I went to was on Valentine's Day. I saw Weaned for the umpteenth millionth time that I've seen them. It was Courtney's first time seeing them, and I proposed to her. So she's now my fiance at this concert, Valentine's Day. The next concert we saw together, Laetitia Sadier, the singer for Stereolab. I got to meet her after the show. Very nice lady, and that was the second show of the year that we've seen. The third one, Slow Dive. Finally got to see them live. That was a fantastic show. I haven't really talked about this one yet. I think I talked about the other two, but I haven't talked about this one. Saw them at the Van Buren in downtown Phoenix. Just a fantastic show. God, I don't even know where to begin. The songs that really stood out to me were When the Sun Hits and Souvlaki Space Station. Both of those songs off the Souvlaki album. And what's another one that I really... Oh, well, they played Slow Mo, my favorite Slow Dive song, so I was really happy about that. Yeah, I don't know. It was just a fantastic show from start to finish. They sounded amazing. Yeah, it was just really great. Slow Dive. And then a few days later, we saw Adam Ant. This is the third time I've seen him, first time for Courtney. She didn't really know his music that well, so she's a product of the 90s, not the 80s like me. So she didn't really know his music much, but we listened to a lot of it leading up to the show, and then finally saw them. She loved it. She had a great time. She really loved the 2-drummer deal with his band. The band sounded great. Adam sounded great. His voice sounds great. He's not bouncing around and dancing all over the stage like he used to, but he still sounded great. They played all the songs that you would expect Adam Ant to play from Adam and the Ants as well. A lot of songs off this album, as well as a lot of his solo stuff. The English Beat opened, and they were great as well. I don't really know much of the English Beats music, but or the beat, but they sounded great. There was a lot of fun. So great shows at the Celebrity Theater in downtown Phoenix, or near downtown Phoenix, and it's a theater in the round, and the stage is right there in the center, and it spins slowly while the band performs. And I think that was kind of unnerving for Adam Ant sometimes. I think he wanted to move around a little bit, and he was kind of worried he was going to fall over sometimes. But anyway, it was a great show. The next day, he played at the Cruel World Festival in Pasadena. So there's a lot of videos all over YouTube with him playing at the Cruel World. But the night before is when I saw him. So Adam Ant. And then just a couple nights ago, I went and saw Drag. I've been talking about this band a little bit at the beginning of the year. This album, Dark Fire Heresy, came out late last year, and I totally missed out on it. And it was on a couple of people's top 10 lists for Best Albums of 2023, and I was curious about it, so I listened, I streamed it, and absolutely loved it, and ordered the album back in January, and found out that they were playing in town. They were going to open up for this other shoegaze band called Wednesday, and we just went. It was a really cool experience because we went. It was a Crescent Ballroom in downtown Phoenix, and we parked right out front. Cost us like $5 for parking when it usually costs like $30 in their meter, or in their regular parking area is like $30. But we found a meter and it only cost us like $5, and it was right in front of the place, the venue, and walked right in, ate a fantastic meal. They have excellent burritos at the Crescent Ballroom, and then the doors opened, went right in, went to the merch table, got myself a t-shirt and some buttons, free buttons, and band came out, and they opened, like I said, for the other band. A drag opened, and they played like 7 or 8 songs, and that was it. And after the show, I waited around. I had this record with me, the album cover with me, and asked them to sign it for me, told them that we were there just to see them. And they were just the nicest people. Got the autograph of Jessica and Ray and Nick and Adrian. The drummer Shane was, I think, still taking down his drum set, so I didn't get his signature. Super nice people, very appreciative, just really nice, and the concert was fantastic. They sounded great. And they've got a new EP coming out really soon, so they played a couple of songs from that new EP that I didn't recognize. So Drag, Darkfire Heresy, got to see them live. They were awesome. So that catches us up to where I'm at as far as I forgot, I didn't mention this. I don't have a record or any kind of physical media, but I saw the Rolling Stones after Slow Dive and before Adamant. I saw the Rolling Stones out at the stadium where the Arizona Cardinals play, and sound wasn't great, but it was still they sounded fine. I mean, the band sounded fine, but the equipment, the speaker equipment, whatever, was just not great. But that was the same case when I saw U2 a few years ago. The sound was really crappy. I saw Metallica there too, soon before the U2 concert, and Metallica sounded fine. But for whatever reason, they just have issues with the sound equipment at that stadium. But Mick was awesome. Ron Wood seemed to be doing all right. Keith Richards seems to be just on fumes at this point. But they were both, Ron and Keith were both playing all the guitar parts. And it sounded fantastic. My favorite song, Give Me Sympathy, they played that. Give Me Sympathy. What the hell am I talking about? Give Me Shelter. They played Give Me Shelter, and that was fantastic. Let's see. They played Sympathy for the Devil, and that's what I'm confused with. And played a lot of their hits. They played some stuff that they don't play at like all the shows, so that was surprising, because I had checked out the set list before just to kind of get an idea what they were going to play, and they played a few surprises. But the song that I was really surprised that I liked, that I'm not a fan of like in general, but I really enjoyed their live take on it or whatever that night, was Honky Tonk Woman. Not a fan of that song really, but it just sounded they just sounded great playing that song that night. So I really enjoyed that one. That was a surprise. Give Me Shelter. So the next concerts I have coming up, I'm seeing Melanie Martinez with my daughter. She's a big fan of Melanie Martinez, so I'm taking her to that in June. And then Peter Hook is coming in September. Peter, the former bass player for New Order, and he's going to be doing the entire New Order Substance album and the entire Joy Division Substance album. I'm hoping he does New Order first, but I'm not sure which order he's going to do that in. But it's a lot of songs, so it's going to be a long haul that night, listening to all that music. But I'm looking forward to seeing him finally for the first time. I've seen New Order live, but without him. So now I'm going to see him without New Order. The next concert after that is in October. I'm going to see Blonde Redhead. I've seen them a bunch of times, but they've got this new album, Sit Down for Dinner, and they're coming to that same Crescent Ballroom where we just saw Drag. They're going to be playing there, so I'm excited for that. The very next night, we're going to be seeing Cigarettes After Sex, where in the arena where the Phoenix Coyotes used to play. That's a really nice place. It's huge, so I'm really happy for Cigarettes After Sex that they're playing even bigger arenas now. They got a new album coming out in July. Obviously I don't have that yet. So that concert, and then December, I was able to get tickets to see Billie Eilish. This is my daughter's favorite performer. I took her to see Billie Eilish a few years ago for her last tour, and they were decent seats. They were in the lower bowl, but they weren't as close as I'd like to be for that. So this time I got my pre-sale code and got online when these tickets went on sale, and was able to get us seats in the pit. So it's going to be, I think at the arena where Cigarettes After Sex is playing. But she's going to be down in the middle of the arena, and there's a pit area, standing room only, that goes all the way around the stage. So we're going to be down in there. Hopefully we can get as close as we can up to the stage for this. And my daughter is so excited. She's beyond excited. When I first tried to get tickets for that, I was clicking on the seats kind of up in the stands, and they were like in the $200 range. And then I clicked on the pit seats, and it was saying that they were like in $195. I'm like, well, my daughter really wants the pit, so let's just do the pit. And I clicked on tickets, and it said they're sold out. I'm like, holy shit, it just started. You got to be kidding me. But it was still letting me select those seats. It wasn't like grayed out. It was still letting me select the seats. So I kept doing it. And then I swear to God, after like the 20th time, I finally was able to secure seats for the pit and went ahead and purchased them. So we're all set. So her new album just came out yesterday. I purchased a copy of it. I streamed it first throughout the day. Well, it came out like online. It came out Thursday night at 9 o'clock. So I listened to it Thursday night, and I actually like Billie Eilish a lot. And really love this album. I think this album is her best yet. Of course, it's still early, but from what I can tell from the 10 songs that there's only 10 songs on this album this time. Her last album was like a double album. But this album, 10 songs, short and sweet, but really just maturity, just really excellently written pop songs. And unique and creative. I'm really enjoying this album a lot. One song that stood out to me almost immediately was the 5th song on side A. It's called Wildflower. Really stood out to me, but I'm really liking pretty much all the songs. The song Lunch, she has a music video, and I believe it's like the first single that she's releasing as a single or whatever. I'm not crazy about that song. But the rest of the album, I think, is just stellar. I think it's just fantastic. So I went to my local record store and picked up this record last night. They had it on black vinyl and blue vinyl. I picked up the blue vinyl version. It was the same price. And it's a gatefold with her picture inside there. It comes with lyrics, inner sleeve with all the lyrics. I stayed up last night and listened to this on vinyl. My son hung out and listened with me and read along with the lyrics while we listened. That was a nice experience. And it comes in this plastic sleeve. Immediately, it's like sealed at the top with like a sticker, and it's got this little kind of hype sticker, this red hype sticker thing over here. And of course, the record store put the security thing, so I'm going to try to get that off. If not, I don't know if I'm going to keep this sleeve. I'm just going to keep the hype sticker, cut that out. And it says made in France. I've heard that the A lot of these are made in France at a French pressing plant, and then some of them are made in the Czech Republic. And the ones from the Czech Republic didn't come with the red hype sticker. That's what I've heard. And this is the blue vinyl. It's kind of a tealish blue marbled. It's got a little bit of color variation in there, but so far I've listened to it and it doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound like, it's not the best audiophile album I've ever heard by any stretch, but it sounds good enough to listen to. It's listenable. I've heard some bad reports about the vinyl sounding horrendous, but this particular copy I have sounded just fine to me last night. So anyway, Billie Eilish. Oh, this is called Hit Me Hard and Soft is what the name of this album is. God, it's like red type on dark blue. It's really hard to read, but Hit Me Hard and Soft just came out yesterday. Highly recommend it. If you haven't gotten into Billie at this point, give this one a try. It might be the album that hooks you in. I really enjoy it. So Wildflower is a really great song. Skinny, which is the very first song, is really good. Blue, which is the very last song, is amazing as well. And I really like the Diner too. It's quirky and strange and different, but I really like Billie Eilish. So that's one record that I got recently, very recently. This is another one, LORITA Mitsuko, the Best Of. This was a compilation that came out just a few years ago, 2019, and it's got all the hits that you would expect from. It's kind of a no frills packaging though. It just has this on the back with the song list and then these pictures. It's a double record, but it's just a single sleeve, and it was just paper sleeves on the inside. So really not a whole lot of extras or bonuses with this thing. It's just got their cheery faces, Catherine and Fred. But I love it. It's got some songs that I don't already have on vinyl, so I'm happy to have those, but most of this is from the No Comprendo, which is their second album, and their first album, LORITA Mitsuko, the first one. 5 titles plus, or whatever you want to call that first album. It's mostly from those. And then Mark and Robert, there's a few songs from Mark and Robert too, including songs that they did with Sparks. If you're into Sparks. Alert, there's Sparks on this record. And then the vinyl, just black vinyl with Fred's picture there and Catherine's picture on the other one. So yeah, LORITA Mitsuko, I love them. They're fantastic. I've shown a few of their records before, but I'll still be continuing to collect their albums as I find them. This next one, Wolfgang Press, I've been purchasing their EPs as I've come across them. I still want to get their Funky Little Demons album, their last studio album, but it's still like over $200, so I'm going to wait. Hopefully maybe they'll do like a record store day release or just some kind of reissue to where I can afford it. But in the meantime, I'm going to get some of their EPs. This is The King of Soul, which is the first single off of their album Birdwood Cage, which I believe was their third album, 1988. Love this song, love this album. It comes with like remixes as the B-sides or whatever. But Wolfgang Press, love them. Very underrated. 4AD Records, black vinyl. Yeah, original pressing. Speaking of 4AD Records, I had this on my Amazon want list, and Courtney just went and picked this up, bought it for me without any reason, any rhyme or reason or whatever. Dead Can Dance, Toward the Within. This is a live album of theirs, their first live album that they released, and 15 songs, double record. There was a VHS and eventually a DVD release of the concert that this is from, recorded in Santa Monica. But as far as the 15 songs go, only 4 of them were from previous Dead Can Dance albums. The rest of them were previously unreleased songs and covers and traditional music that they played and whatever else. So it's not like a greatest hits kind of live type of album. If that's what you're looking for, you're going to be kind of disappointed. But they do play Cantera, which is one of my favorite Dead Can Dance songs. So that's fantastic. Yeah, so Toward the Within, Dead Can Dance, 4AD Records. Really nice, beautiful inner sleeves, as you come to expect from a 4AD release. Some nice photography there. And then some liner notes on this page. So those are the inner sleeves. And then the records, black vinyl. This is obviously a reissue on some heavyweight vinyl, available today. Check it out. So I think I only need to get one of their records to complete the collection of regular releases, and it's the last album that they did with just the 2 songs on it. I'll have to get it at some point, but I don't have it yet. Last thing I got, this is the only find that I had that I didn't order, special order, and this is Melvins Houdini. I believe this is their 4th studio album, their first on a major label. This was originally released on Atlantic Records. This is basically King Buzzo and Dale Crover on drums, King Buzzo on vocals and guitar, and I think Buzzo plays the bass and does drums, and it's just kind of a free-for-all for them as far as like all the instruments, those 2 guys. Supposedly produced by Kurt Cobain. They brought him on to produce this, but he was out of it and didn't really participate too much in the creation of this album. So they kind of fired him, said, hey, you know, this isn't really working out, so thanks, but no thanks, and sent him on his way. So they did it without Kurt Cobain, which they were kind of disappointed with, because they really would like to have seen what he could have done with them, but he was just not in the state of mind to be producing their record. So my favorite song off of this is Honey Bucket, of course, one of their fan favorite songs. But yeah, Melvins Houdini, I saw them in concert, not for this tour, much later. I saw them right before, it was the last concert I saw before the pandemic. They were playing at that same Crescent Ballroom that I just talked about, and they were awesome. Red Cross opened, and Red Cross shares the drummer and the bass player, singer, or whatever from Red Cross also played with the Melvins that night, along with King Buzzo, or Buzz Osborne. But I was standing there, I don't know if I told this story before on my channel, but I was standing there watching the Melvins, and I'm standing next to this guy, and I look up, and he's like really tall dude standing right next to me. And I look up, and I'm like, holy crap, that's Randy Johnson. Taking photos. Randy Johnson was the Hall of Fame pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and before that he was with Seattle Mariners, and after that he was with the Yankees. But I think he's best known for being the pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks, winning us a World Series. I was at that game when he won, when he was the closer in Game 7 when we beat the Yankees back in 2001. So yeah, so Randy Johnson was like standing right next to me. I didn't talk to him or bug him or anything, but he was there taking pictures of the Melvins during their show. So apparently he is quite an accomplished photographer now. He's obviously retired from baseball, but he's quite a talented photographer, and he's known to do photography at shows, at music shows, and he likes the Melvins apparently. So yeah, that was really kind of a wild little celebrity run-in. But anyway, Houdini, awesome. If you don't know what their music is like, it's kind of like sludge, grunge, doom metal, a lot of fun. I really enjoy listening to them. As far as the grunge goes, this is the kind of grunge that I like. So anyway, Melvins. This is a repress, and it's on Third Man Records. So there's the label there. So anyway, that's it. I think that's all I have to talk about today. I think I've probably been talking too much. But anyway, I ordered a record. It hasn't come in yet, but I'll talk about it on the next video. I'll be going to more concerts. I'll talk about that or whatever. But thanks for watching. I hope y'all are doing good.